Well, hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. I am incredibly excited because I get to be with my friends Caleb and Bethany, who run an incredible ministry called Land of the Living. And beyond just being part of this outstanding ministry, they also are incredibly talented musicians and have come out with a brand new song for Christmas. And I want to give you a chance to hear about that, hear a little bit of the background behind it, and then get to listen to it at the end and find out how you can go and find that music on your own. So Caleb and Bethany, thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
uh, to get started, I would love to take a moment and just hear a little bit about you guys, about Land of the Living, and how all of that got started.
Yeah. Well, Land of Living was a ministry that was birthed about 3 years ago in 2017. We started out wanting to host retreats for young adults to just experience the love of God and see generations restored to wholeness. We were hoping for 8 and ended up having 18 sign up.
Yeah, for their first retreat.
For their first retreat. It was absolutely incredible. So we just continued to be focused on young adults and really all generations through retreats, through discipleship and worship. Those are kind of the main focuses. And so that floods out in many different ways, but discipleship and worship for generations, restoring them to wholeness is really our heartbeat.
Yeah. We get to do that also through like music. And like you said, we get writing music, recording music, and releasing stuff, which has really been sweet. Usually we get to travel and lead at churches like yours and other places, but COVID has shut us down this year. So it's been more about recording and trying to release stuff.
Awesome. And so, yeah, speaking of recording, you've got a brand new song that you've come out with for Christmas, just hit Spotify a week or so ago. And so tell us a little bit about that and what it's called and where it came from.
Yeah, it's called Human Form. I sat down to our piano last year about Christmas time, listening to all the Christmas songs and just kind of getting inspired. And the opening little musical melody that starts the song kind of inspired the rest of it. And all of a sudden, I just kind of hit that patch, and then all of a sudden the words just came out. I think I said "Strike the Dark," which we have a song called that, but Bethany changed it to "Light the Match." Dawn was born, and I was like, "Oh man, that's good." And then the whole song just kind of took off. It was one of those looking for like an actual worship Christmas song. Not that like a lot of the Christmas songs aren't worshipful, but like there's kind of like, how could I give another spin to adding another worship sound for Christmas? And so we worked on it, and just the idea of the prophecies of who Jesus is coming to fruition. Obviously for Mary and Joseph, like it coming to fruition that like, hey, like there's this birth that like absolutely rocked their world. But then also that happens to us when we recognize that Emmanuel is here. And so that bridge where it really launches and just says, "You are here." It's like, oh my gosh, like it hits really heavy and all of a sudden makes it personal, not just something we sing about, but someone I'm singing to.
That's good.
That's excellent. Yeah, I got a chance to listen to it last week and put it on repeat. And so I'm so excited to get to hear that.
Yeah.
One question that comes to mind for me, you talk a little bit about Land of the Living and you've got your music ministry and all of those things tying together. And one of the things you mentioned is your focus is really on reaching young people. And I know most churches are dying to reach young people. And so what have you learned about that? How have you been able to especially connect with people through music? Tell us a little bit about that.
We host some young adult small groups at pretty much every church we've been to, but especially the one we're at now. And we just kind of created space for young adults just to get together, usually around food, because for some reason, I mean, everybody loves eating. I love eating, but you say young adults and you say food and like 15 dudes will show up and ready to eat. But just giving them space to be real, giving them space to be able to express themselves, talk about the stuff that's really going on, not just like taboo subjects, but like, things that they're struggling with, whether it's finances, relationships, even talking about scripture and things like that, just being real, being authentic and being open. That's what I think worked for us.
For sure. Yeah, I think music too has played a huge role in that, just being able to listen to something outside of church when young adults don't even know Jesus, but then they hear a song, really opens their heart to something, and then being able to talk to them about Jesus and bring that in just through a melody is huge. And so we've found that our music can be singing about God or life or love, and it's all sharing a message of hope.
Yeah.
And I think that's what young people are desperate for, especially in a time like this. but they're also craving authenticity. And so being able to talk about things beyond what they learned in Sunday school, I think a lot of them were taught the what, but not many people were taught the why. And so they know what they believe, but they don't know why they believe it. And so we tackle that a lot in our retreats and our small groups and the way we disciple. We're asking them questions like, why do you believe that? Because until it becomes personal and we know why we're doing what we're doing, it will always be someone else's belief instead of operating from our own belief and being convinced of it.
Yeah. And I think that's such a powerful word, and really one of those things that probably allows your ministry to be so effective, right? Because you're right, young people are craving authenticity, and your music's authentic, right? It is music that comes straight out of your heart and just pours into people's lives, and people can connect with that. They can hear that raw, love for God and that truth in those words. And so I love it. I love what you guys are doing, and just excited because I think, when we look at statistics, when we look at numbers, we see that young people are leaving the church, or at least they're not even coming in the first place.
Right.
Gen Z is like the first post-Christian generation, won't even be exposed to church. And so I think it's so awesome what you guys are doing, and I love that. So if people were to ask me or to ask you, how can they support Land of the Living? How can they help with what you guys are doing? What's coming up that they could get excited about? What would you say?
Well, we are so excited to announce that we are going to be launching another worship. Actually, it's our first worship album. So we released Strike the Dark, which is our first worship EP that had 6 songs. This is going to have double that. Yeah. And so if anyone wants to give towards that project, we're actually raising $20,000. And they can go to rekindleretreats.org to help that launch and be able to
Yeah, so we got 12 songs. We got an amazing producer named Nathan Hurst up at Attic Studios in Harrisburg, PA, and he's incredible.
Yes.
We worked on another project with him that we're hoping to release next year, but we gave him the songs we wanted to do, and he found 12 that he thought were awesome. So that's exciting. We're also always looking for either one-time financial gifts or monthly donors to partner with us. We're a ministry that's completely based off of generous donations from people like Lynn Haven and even yourself and other people that have believed in us and said yes to what we're doing. And so anybody that wants to partner with us, you can do all of that on the website, rekindleretreats.org. But yeah, just praying for us is huge. Financially supporting us is amazing. But then also helping out this project and giving a gift towards that would be incredible.
Awesome. Well, for those of you watching, we're going to put links down below where you can go to Rekindle Retreats and find out all about Land of the Living, and also some links to where you can listen to and download some of the songs that they've got on these different pages, especially this one we're about to hear. So I'm going to actually head right into that and let everybody hear some of your music, your new song. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I'm just excited about what you're doing and can't wait to hear what's coming up in the future.
Thank
Awesome.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Thanks, Brandon.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yep.
Light the match, dawn was born. Night was black for those who mourn. Under the stardust, you're living among us. This is a light that heaven sent. It's so much brighter. I'm feeling lighter, larger than I could ever dream.
Emmanuel, God was born. Heaven's heart in human form. Even in silence, you're speaking inside us, stirring up miracles in our chest, waiting on your breath to captivate our death. We are in all of heaven's bed.